Hello and welcome, peoples of the internet. So today on Fixing the Most Broken Thing in the House, we are going to be replacing this VT-52sn power control board, which is a power control board for our Vinotemp international wine refrigerator. So this is called Fixing the Most Broken Thing in the House because, as opposed to just fixing something that's broken in the house, because I've been told that everything is broken in the house. And so nothing is really broken in the house. I'm just told, no, everything's broken, this is broken, this is broken. No. We're going to fix the most broken thing. So the most broken thing that we're going to fix today is going to be this wine refrigerator. So you may say to yourself, why not just drag it out to the curb and throw it out? Well, it turns out that these wine refrigerators are really ridiculously expensive, and they usually run anywhere from $1,500 to a few $1,000. So if you can spend, I don't know, the board for this was $160, $159 shipped. So if you can spend $159 and fix it, then it's well worth fixing it as opposed to dragging it to the curb and throwing it into the trash. So how do we know it's the control board that went out? Well, I called up Vinotemp and I said to them, hey, I've got this VT-52 model and it's doing this, and I don't know if you could see it on the camera here, but it's doing this little flicker thing where it looks kind of like an 8. And I spoke with their service person, Trevor, and Trevor said to me, yeah, it sounds like the power control module thing, so you probably want to replace that. Alrighty. Easy enough to do, and there's a whole bunch of videos on YouTube on how to do this, and it looks relatively easy. So if you can save yourself from repurchasing one of these things for, again, $1,500 or a couple of grand or whatever it is, by spending $160, well, that's a really good deal. So what you need to do is, first off, you got to pull this unit. Now this unit is just slid in here. There's nothing capturing it. There's nothing holding it. There are no pieces of whatever you want to call it, holding it in place. It's just literally just sitting here, and we can slide it out by carefully grabbing this and carefully lifting and sliding. Of course, I got to have both hands to do this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shut this off, and I'm going to, oh, you can see, there we go. And this is going to slide right out. And of course, there's a trick to it. You got to have the door all the way open so that it can come all the way out. And then I'm going to rotate it a little bit so I can get to the back. The control board is located on the back. You got to take off the back cover. I'll show you that. And then we're going to put in our brand new spanking control board. Cross our fingers, plug it in. Oh yeah, by the way, you got to shut everything off. Plug it in and pray to the wine gods that this works. So, since I don't have a place to actually put this down, I'm going to just shut this off real quick, and I will be right back with you. Okay, so we've pulled out the unit, we've rotated it around, and now what we're looking at is the back of the unit right here. And as you can see, we've got our placard over here, which tells us what this is called, the wine cellar, the VT-52sn, and it gives us a little circuit diagram. And then we go down over here, and we can see a series of screws that are holding this whole thing in place. So we're going to need a Phillips screwdriver. Now you could use a hand screwdriver. I have a little one of these things, which works pretty good because it's from Works. No pun intended. Sorry, internet, don't hate me. And we're just going to take these screws out. And this is where our compressor is, back here, hidden away. I'm going to need that. I'm going to need this guy. Let's see, is this going to be enough to pop this off? What's holding her in place is the question of the day. Well, this wasn't in any of the YouTube videos, I'll tell you that. Normally, just take off the back and this thing is just like this. It looks like I'm going to need a little pry bar or a thingy. I think that's the technical word, thingy. to kind of pop this guy off. Not sure how this is being held down in place. Well, I can see our control board down there, where it's gonna go. And again, I'm looking at this. Did they glue it? How on earth is this being held in place? I don't know. I think it's just some double-sided sticky tape materials they used to avoid having to use screws? Really? That's the way they wanted to go with this? Okay. It sure does feel that way. Well, there it goes. That's one side off. Again, I'm doing this very gingerly because I've never taken this off before, and I don't want to damage anything potentially. Not that I could. Yeah, it's definitely some sort of adhesive tape that they used, a foam probably type of tape back in 2007 when they did this thing. And let's take a look. What do we have down here? We have what appears to be a box. Now, if I was a betting man, I would say that, gee whiz, wow, they just threw it back here. Look at this. You ever seen anything like this? They just tossed this thing in there. Did not expect that. I thought it would be, you know, sort of mounted there or something. Didn't expect it to be just sort of jammed into a box, but, you know, China, it's what they were doing, I guess, at the time. And what we need to do is take this apart to get to our control board. So, what we know, which is relatively simple, is that there's a screw here, and then this top should come off, and then we should be able to get into this box. So let's do that real quick. Putting this down, I'm not the most professional of YouTubers yet. Alright, I've taken off this little screw. We've popped this guy out. And lo and behold, there she is. That is our control board. So, that's the control board. We've got a bunch of little wires there. Now, what I am going to do is I'm going to replace wire by wire to the new control board so that I don't screw it up. And then I'm going to take the old control board out, re-screw it in with a hand screwdriver because I need a longer bit than this. And this way we ensure that we don't make any boo-boos or big errors. So I'm going to grab my brandy spanking new board right here. I'm going to flip it around so its orientation is similar to that of what is pictured here. And again, I'm going to put 1 to 1 to 1 to 1, and that should fix it. So I got nowhere to put this camera other than here, so I'm going to try to do this. I hope you can see this. I hope you see what I'm doing here. We're going to go first with our yellow wire. Okay. And our yellow wire gets plugged into here. Now we're going to move on to our red wire. And our red wire gets plugged into here. Now the reason I'm doing this isn't so much because I'm anal as much as it is because I don't want to screw this up and I don't feel like taking pictures, although taking pictures is the best thing to do. But by doing it this way, I am assured that I am not going to screw this up. Again, make sure your power is disconnected. Now we've got two sets of whites. So I'm going to take off the first white. Now, that's funny. So, if you look at this, if you look at these white switches over here, so you got one blade sticking up over there, right? Okay. And then over here, it looks like there's two blades sticking up. I don't know if that's correct or not. If it is, it's terrifying because that means that there is something wrong here, and that's not going to be good. Nope, it's all together. Wow. Okay, I gotta get a film on this up. This was all together on one blade. Thank goodness. Boy, oh boy. You know, this is one of those deals where you're like, huh, if I wasn't doing this slowly and carefully, this could have really not been as much fun as it is. So we're going to put this guy in here. So these are actually together. I never saw a crimping connectors set up like this, by the way. This is the first time I've ever seen this. Very unusual. Okay, now we're going to take off our last two, which is going to be this one right here. This is our, whatever you want to call it, cable. Let me get this out of the way. Again, I apologize if you can't see what I'm doing here. Okay, we got our little one, and then we got our big one. And I'm trying to look at this and see, do I need to squeeze these? Do I need pliers for this? There we go. That one's out. That's this one. And that's going to go right in here. Again, sorry for my big fat hands and fingers in the way. There we go. That's in there. And did we get that all the way in? We got that all the way in. So that's good. And then we have one tiny last connector. It's going to be this little guy right here. We're going to carefully pull him out. Alrighty. And yeah, I'm going to need my pliers for this. Okay. Okay. So I got the connector out, the new board. I just put the new board in, and now we're going to take our screwdriver with our little ski screws, and I'm going to put all the screws back in. Now, before I do this, before I shut this all up, I do want to plug this in and test it. So we're going to do that first. It's safe. It's in its own box here, so we don't have to worry about that. Once we do that, we can then get our cables nicely done. I'll re-unplug it again after that. But I am curious to see if this is going to work. So I'm going to stick this back in here and let's go around the front and see if it comes on, if it's working the way it's supposed to. And if it's not, then oh well, we're screwed. Well, I don't have anything. Huh. Before, I had the maybe it takes a little bit to come in, or maybe I didn't plug that in all the way. Go around back, see if I plugged it in. Is that thing plugged in? It looks plugged in. Certainly looks plugged in. Something they said for jamming wires down to places. Red, black, etc. Everything's where it should be. Take a look at this. Okay. Make sure these are all properly plugged in. Gotta get this guy in here, make sure he's in. Okay. Alright. Ladies and gentlemen, I just heard a noise. And that noise sounds like a refrigerator noise. Could it be? Could the jiggling of the wire have done it? I don't know. let's come around here. Let's take a look at this. And we are back in business. Hallelujah. Well, there you go. 78 degrees, probably a bit too high. We'll have to turn that down a bit. Let's see if the little light works. Yay, a little light just came on. Well, ladies and gentlemen of the internet, I want to thank you today on a successful build, a successful DIY fix for the most broken thing in the house. Today was the Vinotemp wine refrigerator, which I'm going to put back together now and slide back in place. Hopefully this will make everyone in the house much more happy. We've got this up and running again, and that we don't have to throw it away or waste insane amounts of money on something to fill that hole that would have been left without it. So anyway, I thank you all, and cheers, Internet.